of any pod.
Recording now. It started. The red
So
is on the screen.
all right, so that gives us the the green light when it says recording started. Excellent. We'll look for that from now on.
What is that song? It says, "Don't turn on the red light." Roxanne.
That's the Police.
Does it say you don't have to turn on the red light?
Yeah, that's what it says.
So it's the opposite here. It's like, Sam, you
Yeah,
have to turn on
in
the
the
red
pod,
light.
we need the red light. We're red light hose. It has to
Isn't
happen.
that song about a like prostitute?
Yeah, it is. Roxanne, I think it doesn't it mean like whore in like Yiddish or in Hebrew? Pretty sure.
I don't like that song. I group it with Sweet Caroline.
Oh, dude, that song slaps. Sweet Caroline?
It's
like,
just like I'm
a
so
baseball
over.
song.
I'm so over it, dude. I take me out to the ball game 100 times out of 100 over that.
Okay, well, yeah. All right. I was about to say, if you're bad mouthing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game,"
No,
we got a problem.
There's another song that someone was debating on something I was listening to or something. It was like Sweet Caroline or another song. Do you know what the other song could be? I'm forgetting. Like there's another one that's like similar to that. It's
Is it
like
Center Field?
Well, I mean, it's like if I sang a country song versus Kenny Chesney.
Yeah.
Like Center Field is elite.
Elite, dude.
Dude, this woman, really okay. So a couple weeks ago, a month ago, I was working at Dodger Stadium. It was the best day of work I've ever had. Nice. I got to go on the field and shit and like on the pitcher's mound and just like throw fake pitches. It's fuck.
That's pretty dope.
The Dodgers were out of town, so it was me, the camera guy, the producer from Fox Deportes, and then just a girl that was a couple years younger than me, like working for the Dodgers, just walking us around, opening doors and stuff.
Cool.
And the groundskeeper guy, I don't know if I talked about this already, but he was the coolest person I've ever met. Best job. He has the best job in the world, dude.
Sick job.
Though, like, I think everyone is once or twice has talked with their friends. Like when they show up to a baseball game, they're like, man, that would be fun. Like they're just watering the field before a game. Like, yeah,
dude.
Players are stretching. Like, man, that would be a cool job, huh? Like interesting. This guy was in his sandals, in his baggy ass shorts, in this like oversized Dodgers tee that you just know he can just go grab 6 of them every day he's leaving work. Yeah. He was just sitting there with his sunglasses in a big sun hat, just like just watering the grass or the dirt. And first thing I say to him, I walk up and I'm like, hey dude, I don't know if you've like heard this before, but you have the best job in the world, I think. He's like, yeah, it's pretty nice.
He's pretty nice. Dude, like you're just mowing grass all day. You're a groundskeeper, you know, like we've all cut grass before. We all mowed lawns. At least I did when I was a kid. It was awesome. You know, like, yeah, it was, you always wanted to get paid up front. You know, you wanted your 20 bones before you actually cut the lawn. But dude, with these guys, like you're making this amazing like field, you know, just so perfect and pristine. And like, you know, it's just like, the one thing I would kind of think would be better. What if you were like a golf course groundsman? That'd be cool. That'd be
well. I was talking to my dad about this, and I mean, when I say the people who are at baseball games that are like, man, that would be a cool job, it's my dad every single game we've ever gone to. Like he says that to me. And so I was talking to him about this later on, and you definitely like working at like a nice country club, I would assume is definitely a stepping stone to a baseball field, right?
Yeah.
Not maybe the other way around. I don't know.
I would think golf course is probably the starter. You know what I mean? Like I think baseball field is probably like the pinnacle, you know? That's like the upper echelon tier. But
then you get into like the elite. I mean, even in LA down here in San Francisco, you have like the Olympic Club. You know, I'm sure a course like that is no pun intended on par with like the Oracle or Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
I would imagine that the baseball jobs might, if to be a head grounds crew guy, like the head, it might pay better than like, I don't know though, like being like Los Angeles country clubs, like head grounds crew guy. I can't imagine you get your hands dirty a whole lot, right? Like you're directing people.
You're definitely directing people because you probably did it before. Like you put in your time already. Another thing is a golf course is so much bigger, like
Yeah.
a baseball field, and you have two things to deal with, like you have the little dirt on the infield, and then you have the outfield grass, whatever. On a freaking golf course, you have bunkers, you have, foliage that goes on the left or the right, you have the trees you have to maintain, you got the fairways, the greens. There's so many different like aspects of it, and it's just so much bigger, like how much square feet is a golf course? It's like a shit ton of acres. I don't know, like, square miles even.
So I'm thinking, now that you're saying that, I'm thinking there's just give and take. Like golf courses, you have exponential manpower to baseball fields. Like you have so many dudes running around there.
Yeah.
Although a disaster at a golf course, like say Brentwood Country Club's not too far from me. Pretty good, like never going to host a PGA event, probably not big enough, doesn't have the space, but very nice golf course. Like for people, it's, I'm sure it's 250,000 a year or more for memberships. And like, so you have like the money behind it, and you have the like high rollers, and you have the bankroll that's like backing it, versus a Dodgers game, people aren't paying 250,000 for memberships for season tickets. They're just like showing up. However, if you make a mistake on Dodger Stadium, like if you flood the infield dirt, or if you like, I don't know, a lot less like ground to cover, but I feel like glaring mistakes. Golf course, like say you fuck up the green, like that sucks. And that might be the worst case scenario for golf course. But if you like are cutting the fairway and you just make like a say you can make like a 5-yard just divot, like that sucks, and it's an eyesore. It's aesthetically not what the golf course wants, but it's not like you're doing that in the middle of right field. Like,
yeah,
chances guys hit that ball in that like 6-inch wide by 5-yard scrape, it's not very good, but it doesn't look great. But I don't know.
And there's 18 of them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So what if one's just a little jacked up? Like there's only one right field. You know what I mean?
The groundskeeper guy, it was strangely like, because what they were doing, the camera guy was like getting very close shots of like the pitcher's rubber, like those very close, like just like kind of a, what do they call those? Like not interstitial shots, but like billboards, I guess, when you go in and out of like I forget what the photos are called, but they're called something.
It's different than like a scenic, but kind of.
Scenic. I guess it was pretty much a scenic. But the guy, like I was expecting the mound to be like the crown jewel. Like because he told me the day before, the camera guy, that we were going to film like on the mound, and I was like, oh, he probably means like in the infield grass. But no, we were like feet on the mound. And I was expecting the groundskeeper guy to be like eyes on us the whole time. His main concern by far was the infield dirt. Like he was like, you can walk across, because like I was carrying the tarp from the pitching mound. He just handed it to me, this big old tarp, and I was dragging it on the grass. I was like trying to pick it up. He's like, dude, it's fine. Just, you don't need to like hurt yourself picking it up. Like it's fine if it drags. Dragged across the base path. And then he said to go set it on home plate. He's like, go set it down on home plate. I was like, all right. So I just would go set everything there, the tarps and shit. And we were walking all over the mound. We had to give it some time because the front is like super soaked. I never knew it. Like in college, it's different because we don't have that same shit. But like, they have the tarp, and then the front of the mound is just, we had to give it like 20 minutes to dry off because it stays so wet underneath that. And he just kept saying to us, he's like, just do not go on the infield dirt. Like whatever you do, just don't, you can't walk on this part, like the part from third base to first base. And he was just like, that was his baby. And I was like, wow.
Dude, it makes sense. Like whenever you look at it on TV, it looks so even, it looks so fine. There's no like footprints in it you can see. It just like looks pristine. So I guess that's what the deal is. Of course, when the infielders go on there, they're wearing cleats. It's going to be chunked up, but like they drag that like damn near every inning. You know what I mean? Like on commercial breaks, it's kind of crazy. And yeah, so I guess like you wouldn't, like you guys are just, working some random stuff. So he's like, yeah, don't like jack my stuff up. This is the hard part. You know what I mean? Like the grass is fine, but like the infield dirt, I guess, is like the tough part, keeping all the grains just like even. I don't know. And I guess there's no one to drag it with him. You know what I mean? Like he was probably the only one there, or like there wasn't the full crew on hand. I don't know. But kind of similar, when I went to the All-Star game in Seattle, we got to walk on the field, like me and my roommate. We got to walk on the field beforehand and like see all the players warm up, and like they had like the MLB Network desk, the ESPN desk, and like they were doing interviews like in and out of there and doing TV shows. And we're walking around, and like me and my friend feel like a little out of place, like we're kind of we
Wait,
had
so give me
media
some
passes.
background. How did you guys like get passes just hooked up to
Yeah.
you, or were you there for any media, or were you just there to enjoy it?
I was there to enjoy it, but I went to my boss at KNBR, who's like a buddy, and
Mhm.
I just like threw it out there randomly. I was like, "Hey, so me and my buddy are going to the home run derby. We're probably going to spend like 300, $400 on tickets or whatever." I was like, "Can we just get media passes?" Like, I know he hooks it up with like Giants MLB credentials all the time and Niners and stuff. So I just kind of like threw it out to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll email MLB and see what happens." And like a couple weeks before, he hooked us up with the passes, and we didn't have to pay anything. It was like really sick.
So you said
Went
that to him
to
before you paid for tickets. So you like said that
yeah,
as like a way to hopefully get. That's
yeah, like
sick that he
to
delivered
not
it.
spend money on the ticket. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he hooked us up, and like I worked for KNBR, so it was kind of like it would be easy for me to get one, but like my buddy doesn't. And I just asked, I was like, "Hey, like the guy that I'm going with, can we like throw him on there or whatever?" And he hooked it up, so it was really sick. So yeah, we went to like workout day, we went to the derby, we went they had like a red carpet thing that we went to. We went to like the different like they had the draft that I
How
really
long?
wanted to go to, but
How
that we
long did
didn't
you?
get to go to.
How long did you spend at the red carpet?
Um like not very long. It was cool, but we like I don't know, it wasn't
So
for us, you know what I mean?
when I was in Cleveland, yeah, it's not great. When I was in Cleveland, though, I noticed something that I was wondering if you noticed, like their outfits, dude. The Latin guys,
Oh
they
yeah.
dress like overwhelmingly. I can't put my finger on it, but it's like it has like a Mexican kind of flavor
Sure.
to it. It's like it's almost like a cowboy kind of like
Yeah, oh
they
yeah,
they
definitely.
love dressing like that's like the formal. It's fucking
Yeah.
sick. Like they wear like
Caballero.
boots, like heavy ass jeans, the biggest like flashiest like it'll be like a shirt that's like Dan Flashes. You watch I Think You Should Leave, like with all the patterns on it, like the Dan
I don't think
Flashes
so.
shirts, or like what they wear in like Scarface when they're like dancing around in like the in just like the long like it shows every curve of your body, but they're so damn ripped that they
Dude, it
they
works.
go through those things. And they're so you forget when you see like Ozzy Albies and like that kind of dress, you forget that he's like 5'6" and just like yoked. Like his legs
Yeah.
are like massive, and you see these guys and they're wearing regular clothes. It looks funny.
Dude, and it's funny you say that because a lot of times, like, I wouldn't have recognized most of these dudes, like, during the Homer Derby and workout day, like, they're running around with their uniforms on, they basically are in their gear, they're, like, game gear, and so many guys I would never have known that was them, you know what I mean? Like, I'll know some of the big dudes and, like, everything, but there were so many different all-stars from, like, other small teams, I see them in a baseball hat and a jersey, and I know them obviously because they have a number, they have a name, and I know their face. But like in regular clothes, I wouldn't know what let's see, like Carlos Estevez looked like, or I wouldn't know what
Yeah.
um
Who does he play for? The Angels?
Angels, yeah. And that dude is a freaking ginormous human.
Okay, so I was just about to ask you that. If you were around players when I was in Cleveland, it was like right when I walked on the field. This was before the home run derby. Same thing. All the guys had their jerseys. One guy behind me that was like right next to the railing of the dugout who was being interviewed by like, multiple people. Lucas Giolito was like 6'6", 6'7",
Sure.
plus the cleats. And I was like, dude, some of these dudes, pitchers especially, are huge.
Yeah.
Like you can read 6'4", 6'5", and be like, oh, that's 6'4", 6'5". But when you see them with like a hat on and like cleats, they're fucking massive. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it makes it even more impossible to think like, I mean, I saw a couple of years ago like Noah Syndergaard throwing 101, how hard it was scientifically to like be able to hit it. And it's really like you got to have the best fucking eyesight in the world to hit a baseball like that,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
dude,
it's funny you say that because like and then the opposite is like Ozzy Albies or like a guy like Dustin Pedroia who are just like 5'6" dudes. but
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
have the hand-eye, you know what I mean?
But they're so much smaller, and it's like,
Yeah.
if you look at that different, it's just incredible too. Like when I see Jose Altuve, and I've probably said this a million times, when I see that
Yeah.
dude hitting bombs, like I'm
Yeah. How's
like
that?
either how perfect does your timing and everything have to be? Because if you really like, I love how they have these new cams, and I want more of it. I want like full behind like pitching cams. The Giants do it
Yeah.
a lot. The Mariners do it a lot. Dude, it is so nice seeing that like behind the like pitch, and the 4K cameras,
Yeah.
8K, whatever they're shooting is so clear now that
Oh,
like
yeah.
I would watch a side by side of like broadcast and that the whole time. And if you
Yeah.
see those like cams or behind home plate cams when guys are like getting ready, it's incredible like how almost like late it looks like they're supposed to be when the ball's in the air going 95, and then they just like get their foot down and their bat gets around to the perfect place and makes contact. It's
Mhm.
really like, and it looks so fucking easy from behind the pitcher when you watch
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Like
yeah, I know. It
it's like
looked
that
like
ball
the
is not going that fast.
yeah, and then you're right there, and it's a blink and it's over, you know, like, it's behind you, which
But
is
with
insane.
Ozzy, good to your point on Ozzy, like he uses what I've noticed, either that or it's how he holds it. His bat is so long because like he needs the leverage, I think, to create that whip from
Yeah.
him having a short, like he gets no extension. And he starts his shit so early. Like his foot is like up in the air as the pitcher's like
Winding.
barely separating his getting separation in his hands. And like
Yeah.
I can't fathom like starting that early. It's so foreign. Like even in
Mhm.
college when I played, like throwing, if a guy's throwing upper 80s, it's like you still have time to step and like kind of look at the pitch, but like they just have to like, they're literally seeing like what the glove is doing and like going off of that and like how the foot is coming down. And then they're like, oh, his foot's like at a 10-degree angle, not a 90-degree when it's landing curveball. So they're like watching
Mhm.
feet as like the ball's coming. And I just don't. That's the only
Yeah.
way they're hitting is like looking at the pitching motion
Yeah, it's
other than
crazy.
getting buzzed and shit. By the way, I've heard a lot of rumors on the Braves cheating. I think that's an
Mm.
easy cop out nowadays, but like, bro, if you
They're
look at
so
some of these
good, dude.
numbers of like their barrel contact and like how much they're hitting,
It's crazy. I saw a stat that, and this was, like, months ago, that they had, I think it was through, like, 80 or 90 games, they had, like, 140 runs in the first inning. Like, that top of the
yeah,
lineup, that first through 5 those hitters are just, like, destroying the baseball. It's crazy,
which
and
is
then
absurd because that usually happens in like the third time around through an order. Once you see a guy, you know.
he was
Hello.
having an amazing MVP type year. Yeah, you're back. It just cut out for a little bit. Um, yeah, those guys are just dialed, and maybe they could be cheating, or maybe somebody is like, tipping their pitch, just have a system or whatever, like whatever, dude. Like, don't they have the freaking pitch comms now for that? Like,
I
the
don't get how.
catcher.
Okay, do you know how the fuck those work? Because I am like, I can't figure out. Some dudes have it on their hat, some dudes have it on their
Yeah,
glove. Otani wears it like right here, and I can't figure out, is it like a, so if I want you to throw a slider, is it like, okay, Jacob feels 1, 2, 3 beeps on his hat, or is there a noise? Is it like ding ding? Because I can't figure out if it's a
yeah,
noise, if it's a vibration. Because like I, first of all, if it's a noise, it's hard to believe that something that's auditory like that transferring information, like even if it's on the pitcher's hat, it seems like a liability to like, he's pretty isolated with the atmospheric noise and stuff, but like I see them sometimes, they go like this, like they put their glove up to their ear and they
yeah,
kind of like do that to hear it. So either it's super silent, which kind of seems like it takes away the efficiency of like getting the clear cut communication on transferring the sign well. But also like, is it's probably impossible, but like the risk of like having a first base runner or a second base runner hearing that buzz, probably not,
yeah.
right? But like, how does
I
the
think
catcher
that,
get it then when it's on his knee? Like, how does he say accept or transfer the pitch to the pitcher without the batter hearing some kind of, even the buzz, or because the batter can hear that, the buzz
yeah,
or like a beep, a dial
and
tone.
I know that, like, a couple pitchers on the Jets, they like call their own game now. You know what I mean? Like and I think with the pitch comm, it kind of makes it so that they can just choose whatever pitch they want. Because I think they have it too, and it goes to the catcher. It's I don't understand it fully. And I don't know if there's like a button for a curveball or if you have to press like a couple buttons. There's like a code, like you said. Yeah, dude, I don't really know the details of that, but it'd be cool to like, have it on like just wear one for 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Like and just see what it's like or see what the noises are and what different symbols or signs it is, I don't know.
Well, the catchers do have that ear thing, right? They have like a
Yeah.
wire. So like when it's on their knee, I'm wondering like is there a wire that goes all the way up? Seems like a lot of I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. And, like then you have to go like hit and you have to take all this stuff off and then like rewire it again. Like I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. Um but yeah, I just miss the old fingers, you know what I mean? Like give me one of these, give me one of these, give me one of these, and then like the whole different system and all that. But on the show on KMBR, it's with FP Santangelo, and he's a former baseball player, played for the Expos, Giants, A's, Dodgers. And he was telling me, dude, like it's so easy to pick up signs. You know what I mean? Like it before, the trash cans and whatever the Red Sox were doing back in the day and the Yankees and all that. And the camera guy in center field or whatever holding up the signs, like just from second base. If a runner's on second base, he's like, dude, I got this sign down in like less than one at bat or like two at bats. You know what I mean? Just because there's only so many different sequences you can do. But I miss that. You know what I mean? Like make better signs is what he said. And it like with this whole technology thing and the like, oh, I want to hear it, and sometimes you can't hear it, and it's just like, I don't know. I personally don't like it, but I understand they're just trying not to have a Houston Astros thing like from 2020 or whatever the hell it was, 2020 or 2019 or some shit. 2018. I have no idea. Yeah. Signs are weird. Signs, the movie with Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix.
What are your thoughts on that?
Good.
Good segue. What do you think about that? Good movie.
I love that movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. I'd put it up there with M. Night's good ones, a Shyamalama Ding Dong movie, and I don't know. I was always a sucker for alien movies when I was a kid, so I thought it was cool. It was creepy. The whole and also, dude, can we establish how crazy crop circles are? Like, we still don't know what the hell that's all about. It's insane.
Dude, I love crop circles. I watched a documentary on YouTube about it not too long ago. It wasn't a documentary, but okay. I can send that to you after this, dude. You'll love it. It's about 40 minutes and it is a banger. It is so sick. Crop circles are like one of the most fascinating things, and they're the hardest thing to fake. Like it is impossible to fake them how they're done.
That's what I've heard. And so they're not fake. Like, I don't know. Where are these? Like, are they still in like Iowa or whatever? Like, can I go see a crop circle right now? Like, I'm sure once a crop circle happens, they like quarantine that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure the Area 51 people come out and like go explore it and do some tests and all that. And I highly doubt that you can grow corn on there after that. You know what I mean?
So the most crop circles are in England.
England.
Where are I know from that documentary. It's like a crazy place that they all show up. It's like, okay, yeah, so it is near Stonehenge, which is another fucking weird thing. Stonehenge, like what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
Wiltshire.
They don't even have like, don't they? There's like no scientific proof of like they don't have proof of like how or why that got there. Like
no, and there are these guys. There are these two guys that like fooled a good amount of people back in like I don't want to say like 90s or late 80s doing it. But like even if you look at this, like this was probably done by a person.
Sure.
But like if you go in the inside of it, there's certain details that like are clear cut that it's a person, like that. Like when the crop circles that they don't know are how they're done, nothing is ripped. So like all of the wheat or whatever it
Yeah.
is like bent like at it's like bent
An
at the
angle.
yeah, it's like bent down. It's not like
Yeah.
cut and like
Yeah.
flattened. It's like all of it's like bent and like you can't do that in like one where the grain is like all going in one way without like having it's almost like if you are like writing cursive, like you have to have like a little blotch where you start and stop like the cursive. It's I don't know. I won't want to like misstate what they say, but it is pretty incredible like how detailed when you get down to the nitty gritty of like dude, it can't be people. And
Right.
it just blows my mind, man. Every day
I
I
know.
want to like learn I want to know about aliens. There's not a day that
Like,
it doesn't cross my mind, I would say,
like
right?
you're like you don't look around and be like they're out there, you know? Like look, we can see stars and shit. You know, where are they? Like
There's really not
stars
a
have
day where I'm like I think it crosses my mind at some level. Like what is up there? I don't know. Just like something. I want to see them.
I definitely there's days that go by where I forget about aliens. But, you know, there's days like this where I'm like, yeah. And we're making movies, dude, ET. Come on. Like we were doing that in the 80s. They're out there. They're definitely out there. If not around us already. You know what I mean? Like you look around you. You see all these people, they look like aliens. I bet you like a good amount. Men in black, they're everywhere. You just can't they're like hiding, you know?
I've thought about that too. If we walked by aliens, same thing with the serial killers. Like how many serial killers have you walked by, or how many like
Mhm.
people?
I
All
never
right,
thought
so
about that either.